Okie dokie dokie dokie. So I am literally waiting on paint to dry, fellas. And I figured I would go ahead and do a quick muffler mod on this. What the hell am I doing? This is nothing but fun anyways, so to hell with this. Let's fuck shit up. Do it right. Okay, yeah, sorry, I got to thinking to myself, why the heck am I doing just a standard muffler mod whenever the whole point of this stupid little wild thing is for fun and to just see how fast I can make it rip. So screw this. I do believe this is the insert that I took out of the middle that keeps this from falling in on itself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as the tube coming off of the header, off of the cylinder. Hot dang. So this is that tube. We will use this piece I just cut off to go over there and cover all those holes. So now we've got this this piece that it's got the pattern that we need to go right onto the cylinder. We'll take that and we're going to weld it right to this little tube. Again, this is the tube that came out of this muffler. Alright, so now we've got it really nicely bolted down and secured to that plate that bolts onto the cylinder. And we're going to tack it up slowly but surely. Okay, that's it so far. I am liking how this is going. Alright, so we've got a nice flange right there that we can run our bolts through and we hook up to the cylinder. We've got to close off those holes now. And that's where that other little piece is going to come in handy. We're just going to take this piece that I cut off the muffler. We're going to cut it out, put it right on top of that, and weld it in place. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so now it's time to take measurements and everything. So what we got here, this is the factory muffler, and this is the wall that they made from the factory. So let's take a quick measurement. All right, ooh, dang it. All right, so this is the factory pipe, and this is the wall. That wall is very important. You want this, your exhaust to hit a wall so that, what is it, percussions? No, I'm not. The sound waves can travel back into the cylinder and back out at the appropriate time. So what I have learned through my studies, and if you want to know more about that, find my video on building a tuned pipe. What I have learned is the factory gets it right. And engineers went to school for a reason. And so we're going to mimic that. However, we're going to try to make this a little bit shorter than they did because we want this to pull a little higher RPM. So that right there is our length. It's 1 7/8 of an inch. So we're going to make this 1 3/4. That is how long from the back of the pipe to the front wall. That's how long it has to be. 1 3/4 of an inch. Let's see how long this is right off the bat. Nope, we're going to have to take some off of there, which is great. We'll just be able to take that that little notch right there. We'll just trim it flush. Bada bing. Perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this pipe right here, and well, you'll see, it's hard to explain. I'm going to cut it out and everything, and this will slide into the pipe. So 1 3/4 of an inch is the length that we need. Now we got to figure out the width of this right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 of these, one on each end. So right there, and then right there. Where's my chalk? There's my chalk. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give myself a little bit of extra room, because on this it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to give myself a little bit extra room to play with. And well, shoot, this is not a very good scribe. There we go, that'll be better. There we go. Now we're going to cut this. Okay, so here we have it. This right here represented the length that we wanted, right? And so that's why these are still in place. But I had to open up the sides so that whenever it gets in this pipe, it'll actually flow out. So there we go. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's going to come out and hit this wall and go either direction. Let's measure this. It is slightly longer than 1 3/4 inches, which is perfect because of the thickness of this wall right here. So what we have, will it fit? Will it fit? No, I can't make the measurement that direction. But what we have is from the flange here to the back of this wall, we have 1 3/4 of an inch, which is exactly what I was aiming for, which should time this going back into the cylinder. The sound waves, it's not called sound waves, it's like percussions or something. Basically, the explosion happens, and those waves go out your exhaust. So with a tuned pipe, you want to time it so that those waves go out, hit the wall, bounce back into the cylinder, hit the back wall of the cylinder, and then bounce out again. And whenever it goes out that next time, it's actually bringing it, it's helping to pull a fresh charge of air into your cylinder. So this is a tuned pipe. Now, is it correctly tuned? We'll have to see. But now I'm going to make sure that this is squared up, and I'm going to put me some tacks in there and call it good. Okay, look at that. She's coming along nice. Very nice. So now from here, it's going to take a lot of meticulous little grinding. Going to have to break out the die grinder and everything. Make sure these holes are perfect, because otherwise it'll leak around there. And it's probably going to leak a little bit, but you don't care. It's going to flow so easily out the sides here, it won't matter. So I got to install the pipes, weld those up and everything. So I'm going to just shut off the camera and just get at it. And I'll let you guys see the finished results. Okay, it turns out I didn't have a huge amount of room to work with. I had to seal it off on this side because of all this plastic here. And then for this, to get my right angle, the proper angle that I want, I've got the brake on in the forward position. I've got a nice long 3-inch pipe sticking out there so that I know which way the gas flow is going, right? And then with it on, I actually tacked it. So now I'm going to weld it up and get to finishing this. Ooh, lot more flow, lot more flow. That's nice. That's very nice. Dun-na, 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 dun-na. Check it out. Woo, 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 woo. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Yeah, I know. It ain't no beauty pageant. It ain't. But if it was, I might just win it. Anyways, it's pretty good, right? So, just to recap, this right here is the inner tube of that what's inside these Poland mufflers, right? I used that because it was simple. I had it. So on top it had holes. Well, I put a little plate over there, welded it up. I needed an overall length. The stock muffler from the flange here to the wall was actually 1 7/8 of an inch, which is about 1/8 of an inch. No, it's not about. It is exactly 1/8 of an inch longer than this is. So the overall length of this is 1 3/4 from the flange to the inner wall back there. The reason for this, if you haven't seen my my video on how to, or on the series of making a tuned pipe, making an actual tuned pipe, what we're trying to do is the sound waves or the explosions or percussions, whatever they're called, I can't remember. But anyways, the top of the piston, we get explosion, boom, and all of that sound and explosion, percussion, waves go into the exhaust, right? Now, there's a couple different things, there's several different things going on inside the two-stroke exhaust. But what we're aiming at is to catch those waves at the right time and they hit a wall. A very solid, very smooth, nice wall. And then they just bounce right back into, as that piston's continuing to go down, they bounce right back into the cylinder, hit the back of the cylinder wall, bounce back towards the exhaust just in time for that piston to come up and seal the exhaust port. So the whole point of it, boom, ding, 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 and then it gets expelled, is because what we're wanting to do is we're wanting that sound wave to come back and not allow fresh charge out with the spent gases, as well as hit the back wall and go again to give a little bit of a draw for even a smidgen more fuel. So that is what a tuned two-stroke pipe is doing. How it does it's multiple different ways. Some of them do it with back pressure and nothing but back pressure. Others do it by trying to mess with that wave. Well, what I figured out was that for most of these engines, 3 inches was perfect. Now you notice, well, you wouldn't notice because you're not here. On these smaller exhausts, they don't have a full 3 inches. And we're talking about 3 inches from the actual cylinder wall for the exhaust, not the exhaust flange right here. So anyways, the point is the factory times it pretty damn nicely, and I can't do any better than that. But what I can do is make it just a little bit shorter, because if it's a little bit shorter, then that means those RPMs, or those percussions, have shorter to travel, which means they, to get it peak and just right, what we need is higher RPMs. Whereas before, this exhaust, or the exhaust that was on there, may have been tuned to work perfectly at 10,000 RPMs in the cut, which I doubt that because it's a polo mile thing. But now it would be tuned to run, say, at 10,500 perfectly in the cut. What we did was we just simply used our knowledge of being able to make that wall shorter, right? Closer to the piston, just a smidge, so that in hopes we will actually have a better performing exhaust for high RPMs. So, only thing left to do is put it on and give it a shot. There she is. I went ahead, I cut the excess plastic off, because the way that these bolts are set up, whenever they go through right here, I can't get a proper seal. So I've got the heat shield in place. It should protect everything just fine because there's no restriction. Everything will want to flow this way, but there will still be a little bit seeping out through those holes, I imagine. Therefore, I went ahead, instead of the plastic burning up, I just cut it out. And the heat shield should direct everything forward and up. Should be good. So, there you have it. Okay, I gotta say, my man really outdid himself on this one. This is much more than a muffler mod. This is an actual tuned pipe. It's yet to be shown whether or not it's tuned properly, but by shortening up that wall as well as opening it up for the flow, this is what I would definitely consider a tuned pipe, because I had actual measured progress that I was making in getting it where I wanted it to be. That's your tune. Anyways, and he went ahead and cut out the little spot so that we could have some more airflow going in. So without further ado, oh hot rod, did someone say my name? Do you mind showing us what this is capable of?
Oh shit, yeah.
All right, enjoy. Now I need to get a real chain on it. That's still a semi-chisel chain.